I've just arrived in Skegness, the worst rated seaside town in the UK for the last 3 years in a row. It's my first time here, so I'm going to be checking out some of the sites and taking you along with me on the journey to see if we can find out why this place has got such a bad rep. So let's go explore Skegness. I've made it down to the beach and I have to say it looks pretty similar to any other UK seaside beach that I've been to recently. So first impressions, it doesn't seem to be that bad. What I want to do is check out the water quality. So what is the quality like of the sea? Is it a little bit dirty? Is it clean? Let's go have a look. Just coming up onto the sea right now. Let's have a closer look. It's a bit foamy, but the water seems pretty clear. There is a wind farm out there though, of maybe hundreds of wind turbines. I've never seen so many so close to a beach before. You might be able to just make them out. So maybe that's a contributing factor to why it's got a bad rating. A lot of people think that they spoil the view, but I think they look pretty cool. So I have heard of Skegness before, and the things I've heard is that it's a popular destination for families in the summertime to come on holiday. I've not really heard too many bad things about it, so I'm not sure why it's got such a bad rating. Let's have a look at some of the attractions and see if we can find something there. There's a lifeguard station here. I don't think I've ever seen one of those before at the beach. There seems to be some sort of event happening here. There's a massive dirt track that's been dug up. I don't know if it's for dirt bikes or quad bikes, but this track is huge. I imagine this bit, with this knot here, would just be the regular beach. The first place I want to visit is called the Boating Lake, and apparently it's a big lake area where you can rent your own boats and paddle out into the middle. Let's go check it out. And it looks like we've arrived. So it's not the right season, so it's closed right now. But you have the big lake here, and in the middle you've got all the boats. Let's take a walk around the lake and see what it's like. I wonder how deep the lake is. So this lake is a little bit bigger than I thought. It kind of goes all the way around here, and there's a couple of islands in the middle where you can paddle around. We've got the little duck area, and there's a little black and white one that I've never seen before. Look at that one there. There even seems to be a little bridge over there. Let's go see what's on the other side. What is it gonna be? There's a whole nother part to the lake. It's twice as big as I thought it was. And I think it looks better on this side than the other. Let's go check this place out. Just come across this fountain area. It's closed right now, so there's no water in it. But you can imagine in the summertime, this place would be pretty popular. There's a little castle section here to the lake. But have a look. This is a pretty massive lake. There's another bridge over here, and you can actually walk over to the island in the middle. But I think that's closed right now, so we can't do that. All the seagulls are aligned on the bridge. I have to say, this is probably one of the better boating lakes that I've been to, and I think it would be a really cool place to come in the summertime when it's open. I'm just walking on South Parade Street, and there's a load of hotels on this one. And the cool thing is, a lot of them have balconies. So in the summertime, when you wake up in the morning, you can come out and enjoy the sun in the morning with your cup of tea. Look at these cool street lamps that curve over the street, just near the clock tower. I've never seen street lamps like this before. They've got a huge climbing frame here, check that out. It's massive. I think it's closed right now and it's home to the birds, the seagulls, the pigeons. I think that'd be pretty cool to climb when it's open. So this is the famous clock tower of Skegness, and apparently this lights up at night. So I think it'd be pretty good to come back at night time and see this. Right, it is lunchtime now, and I think there's only one thing to get, and that's fish and chips, and I think there's only one place to go. Okay, so if you Google the best fish and chip place at Skegness Beach, this place comes up, Trawler's Catch. Let's go in and check it out. That was a pretty decent fish and chips in there. I went for a large haddock, chips and a side for £6.95 that they had on as a daily special. So I got it with the mushy peas and it was pretty good. The fish was absolutely massive, a huge piece of haddock, and it's the first time that I've had it with the skin on. And the skin actually made it really crunchy and crispy. You could definitely taste the haddock flavour, and the chips were pretty good too. I think the fish was slightly on the dry side. It could have done with being a little bit more moist. And the batter was a sort of yellowy colour. I've never really seen that before, but it must be the type of flour that they're using. The mushy peas was okay as well, and I got that with a bottle of water, which was £1.30. So pretty decent fish and chips. Not the best that I've had, but not the worst. Let's go check out the main promenade area. So is this the main street of Skegness? I mean, it's got the amusements on, casinos, it's got a few shops and bars and pubs, but it doesn't seem to be that big. Looks to be a theatre here as well. There's a pretty cool looking water ride here. The Pleasure Beach. Let's go in. I don't think it's open, but let's have a look anyway. It says free entry, but I think the gates are locked. So the Pleasure Beach is closed, but it looks like it's a place where you've got loads of rides, like a big fun fair. And I think I've reached the end of the amusements. There doesn't seem to be that many of them compared to, let's say, Blackpool, but the rest of the street I think is just hotels. I haven't found anything particularly bad that stands out about this place yet, but let's go check out the pier. Here we are, Skegness Pier. Let's check it out. This doesn't seem to be the biggest pier out there, but look, there's a big red dragon. Let's go right to the end. Not really that much at the end of this one. There are a few seats if you want to sit down, have a look out onto the ocean. I think the pier used to be a lot longer, but I think parts of it have been washed away by the sea. So the pier doesn't actually go out that far. If you have a look over there, it's only a little bit over the water. I have noticed something about the sand here. It does seem to be a little bit coarser than other places, so a little bit more stones and sort of shells in there. So there looks to be another area where you can rent out boats and paddle out at your own leisure. I think it's pretty good having these little canals and lakes where you can rent out your own boats, because I don't think that many places do them. There's a sign over there. It says no boats beyond this point. Let's go find out why that is. What is beyond this point? I've just followed the canal a little bit further on. I'm not sure why there was that sign where it says you're not allowed beyond that point, because it looks pretty good round here. Let's go a bit further on. Maybe there's something at the end. Okay, I think I found the reason. Now this bit looks a bit worse for wear. The trees, the bushes, the hedges, they're all overgrown into the canal. Look, I think I found an old castle. Is that a real castle, or is that a fake one that's been built recently? Let's have a closer look. I think these bricks look pretty old, but I'm still not sure if it's an actual old medieval castle or a fake one. the canal's still going, and this section looks pretty good. And I've reached the end of the canal. Got a sign there with the prices on it just behind me. I'm not sure why you couldn't go beyond that point where the sign was, because this bit around here looks pretty good. There's nothing wrong with the water or the canal, just that little overgrown section of the hedge and trees. I don't think that old castle was real, because part of it is the toilet. You've got the Natureland Seal Sanctuary here, which is actually the top attraction to do on TripAdvisor. And they do good work here because they rescue injured and abandoned seal pups. There's a really nice bowling green area here. There's 1, 2, 3 massive bowling greens. I can imagine in the summertime a lot of people will be out here playing bowls. There's a nice mini golf area here. Check that out. And I'm back to the boat renting area. Is there anything else around here that we can go have a look at? Just walking back under the pier. I think there's actually plans to renovate this and make it extend out a lot longer. Right, I've done a lot of walking today and I think it's time for an ice cream. Look, there's a giant upside down house there. How did they make that? And I've got myself an ice cream. I think they call it a stick 'em up at that place. And it comes with 2 flakes. This is a pretty good ice cream. I think I've walked around all the Skegness attractions and I can't seem to figure out why this place has got such a bad rep. You've got all the attractions here, like the pier, there's amusements, got loads of shops and stalls selling ice creams, fish and chips. You've got the beach, the sea, and on a sunny day like this, it's a pretty good place to visit. I don't think the sand at the Skegness Beach though is as good as other places, because it does seem to be, in some parts, really thick and coarse, and it's got loads of stones and shells in it. And you've got seaweed all over the beach as well. I think the reason for that is that the tide doesn't actually come that far up the beach at some points. So a lot of this sand is just stationary here and not washed about by the sea and ground down into finer pieces like it is at other beaches. But is that enough to make it the worst seaside town in the UK? I'm not too sure it is. I've enjoyed my time here in Skegness, even though it's not the right season and a lot of the places were closed. But I did have some good fish and chips and an ice cream, and the weather was nice too. So what more can you ask for? I'll see you in the next video.